had reported on increased attendance. There have been many activities in Mulberry in the last month or so, with such things as themed Saturdays, kids, toddlers, art guide, people visiting on field trips, exchange students from China visiting, the recent Superhero Saturday in Spence Park, and private bookings. This month on the fourth Saturday, Super Saturday, at Spence Field will include a Berry Sweet Saturday with real strawberries. There will also be a big Easter egg extravaganza in Mulberry on Saturday, March 31st. There will even be a petting zoo. More than 4,000 eggs will be distributed, largely from an egg drop. And 4 teachers from the Kingsford Elementary School appeared before the commission asking for a donation. They want to send the 4th grade class on a field trip to Epcot Center, owned by Disney near Orlando. They've already raised $2,000 and need $4,000 more. The City Commission voted to give them $1,000 toward the Epcot trip. The teachers expressed their thanks. Pat Stottlemyre, representing the Mulberry Area Chamber of Commerce, said that the executive director of the chamber, Diane Simmons, is out of state on business. He gave a report saying the chamber has 2 new members this past month. It will have its monthly members and guests breakfast on March 21st, and also has a bass fishing tournament and annual golf tournament as fundraisers in March. The Lunch and Learn will be held March 20th in the Mulberry Civic Center. A gun safety program for the public will be held in the Mulberry Civic Center on Thursday, March 22nd. This is thanks to the Polk County Sheriff's Department, which is holding this event. With so much about guns in the news and safety, this is seen as a needed event. At Spence Park on March 24th, there will be a free movie starting at 8:30 p.m. The recent trivia night was a success with good attendance. Another one will be held on March 16th, complete with corned beef sliders to note St. Patrick's Day the next day. It was announced that Mayor George Hatch is having a birthday on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. City Commissioner Marie McClintock noted much work done in Mulberry City parks and said more people are coming out to use the parks. There have been new swing sets and other improvements. When she ran for office, use of the city parks was one of her concerns, and she likes the recent improvements. She also likes the gun safety meeting coming up, supported by the city. Also, the former Badcock home is to be the new city business center. The Badcock home on North Church Avenue, State Road 37, will soon be leasing offices for the Mulberry Business Center. This will be an office for people to be welcomed to Mulberry for their business and development projects, a place to pull city permits, and even the Mulberry Area Chamber of Commerce is thinking of going in there. This would make doing business in Mulberry for business and developers more of a one-stop center for many of their needs with the city. Some city staff toured the building on Tuesday. The city will lease the property from Badcock family for $1,000 a month, with Badcock still paying for mowing and trimming and paying property taxes. And on to other news. The top-rated states for military retirees, the top 5 are Alaska, South Dakota, Montana, Wyoming, and Florida comes in number 5, followed by Maine, New Hampshire, North Dakota, Hawaii, and South Carolina. And on a final note, there have been 3 myths flying around about PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. PTSD is a mental health issue that is often associated with a great deal of stigma, both in military and civilian populations. Several myths about the condition appear to contribute to these beliefs. 3 of the most common misunderstandings about PTSD to reconsider is 1. PTSD is a sign of mental illness. PTSD can happen to anyone. It is not a sign of weakness. A number of factors can increase the chance that someone will have PTSD, many of which are not under the person's control. For example, having a very intense or long-lasting traumatic event or getting injured during the event can make it more likely that a person will develop PTSD. PTSD is also more common after certain types of trauma like combat and sexual assault. In prior generations, PTSD was called battle shock. The second is people with PTSD are dangerous. Although PTSD is associated with an increased risk of violence, the majority of veterans and non-veterans with PTSD have never engaged in violence. When other factors like alcohol and drug misuse, additional psychiatric disorders, or younger age are considered, the association between PTSD and violence is decreased. The third is one that nothing can be done for people with PTSD. There are more effective PTSD treatment options than ever. Effective treatment for PTSD include different types of psychotherapy, talk therapy, or medication. Studies have shown that for some people, these treatments can get rid of symptoms altogether. Others find they have fewer symptoms or feel that their symptoms are less intense. The National Center's PTSD consultation program offers free PTSD consultation to any provider who treats veterans in any setting. Evaluating PTSD applications for veterans and family. Investigators continue to examine how the PTSD Coach and PTSD Family Coach mobile phone apps may help trauma survivors and their significant others. Ongoing studies are testing the app's impact on veterans' PTSD symptoms and treatment engagement, as well as relationship quality and family members' well-being. And on a final note, this evening, Governor Rick Scott signed the gun and safety resolutions that were sent to his desk, which in effect changes the age limit from 18 to 21 for someone to purchase a long gun. a rifle. So it's the same age as for those to apply for a handgun. Also, the banning of the bump stock, which is an attachment that you can put on a weapon to turn it from a semi-automatic, which is you pull the trigger each time you fire, to an automatic where you can pull the trigger one time and you get a continuous round firing, like the type that was used in the Las Vegas incident. And he also approved concealed carry weapons by school personnel, but exempting classroom teachers. They will be excluded. But for other employees on a voluntary basis, those that are interested in it and go through the proper psychological and training involved, were passed. Also, funds were donated for mental health, and also a sum of money was donated to rebuild the classroom where the shootings happened in Parkland, to turn into a new building. Excuse me. And that includes Friday evening news segment. Stay with us when we return on Monday at the same time to go over things that have happened over the weekend that is of interest to veterans and Christians in the Mulberry and Polk County area. Until next time, wishing everyone a pleasant good evening and a good weekend. And don't forget, when you go to bed tomorrow night, turn your clocks ahead 1 hour. Daylight saving time goes into effect at Sunday at 2 a.m. Until next time, good night.